Alright, what's going on YouTube? Today we're starting off the video a little different. We're going to be talking about the Oricorio suspect test that's happening in the RUT right now. I did luckily get uh, Rex. Actually, I was the first person to get Rex, funnily enough. Um, but I just wanted to talk about my feelings about the matter, and then we're going to hop into some laddering. But my original thoughts on Oricorio as I was doing Rex were that people were complaining a lot over something that didn't really seem to matter. It didn't seem like, to me at least, that Oricorio really needed anything in terms of like, I didn't think it needed to be banned. I didn't think it needed any action. But my viewpoint on that has changed a little bit. Originally, this was my post in the forum for the suspect test. As of this moment, I don't see a need in banning Oricorio. I understand that it can be a gimmicky mon that can weasel its way out of bad matchups with Revelation Dance or Air Slash flinches. However, in my opinion, it seems to be in a similar spot as Volcanion, where if you need it to be something, it will. As I don't think action is needed for Volcanion, I will apply the same logic to Oricorio and will be voting not to ban. Which, in my head, is still a good argument, right? Volcanion and Oricorio both have a problem where if you need it to beat a certain mon, it'll beat that mon 100% of the time. Volcanion, you can have crazy sets just to beat specific mons where you like min max certain EVs, throw a sash or throw a specs on it, throw a scarf on it, whatever, right? And it's kind of the same with Oricorio. You have the Keyberry taunt set, you have like regular QD set with like a Terra to beat whatever mon you need it to beat. But the more I've been playing the tier as of recently, the more I've realized that it is sometimes a little overbearing, right? And I think Heat Raider actually says it really well here. Um, we never tier based on what positives a Pokemon brings to the tier, right? And one of my points was that Oricorio stops Gyapdos from being a little too overpowered. But I understand that Oricorio is in a very similar situation as Yanmega, where the counterplay to it does come down to RNG. And so I think with the vote coming up soon as to whether or not to ban Oricorio, I'm going to be switching from not ban to ban, as I think it's a little too oppressive in the tier to be allowed to stay. And while I don't like having to ban Oricorio because I think it is actually healthy for the tier, I understand that it's in a very similar situation as Yanmega, where the counterplay just comes down to RNG. Like, if it gets a flinch on a mon that you need to beat it with, it's kind of just unlucky and you can't do anything about it. Anyway, let's get into the laddering portion of the video. Alright, now that we got that little segment at the beginning of the video out of the way, we're going to be using the team that I actually got Rex with to ladder. It has fan favorite Mr. Craw. And seeing as they have Hippo lead, I do think I just lead off with Mr. Craw and get a big Crab Hammer off. This should kill no matter what, even if it's a max. So there's really no switching into this. Nothing on his team wants to take a Crab Hammer, including this one actually. There goes a really big threat. Thankful to have that out of the way this early into the game. If Weezing comes out, I can pivot pretty safely into Sylveon. He doesn't even... That's interesting, because usually you go for a Will-O-Wisp there, but I guess he was just thinking he could kill with Strange Steam, which I don't hate. I'm going to set up a Calm Mind. I am going to Wish once to see whether or not it's Heavy Slam or Flash Cannon. If it's Flash Cannon, I can beat this 1v1. If it's... Okay, it is Flash Cannon. I set up another Calm Mind on this turn. And Wish again. Next turn, I'm gonna go for a Hyper Voice. Unless he switches out into Bisharp. Yep. Hyper Voice can Tuco from this range. Assuming I get a good roll here, I should kill this Goodra, always. I'm also two-shotting every other Mon on the team, including this Hippo. Though that took very little damage, so I'm assuming it's very, especially bulky. But Hippo does go down. Bisharp comes out. I go into Gengar. Actually, no. I can pivot Mr. Craw here. I resist both of its stabs, and Crab Hammer does do a lot. If Goodra wants to come back in, Crab Hammer, depending on how bulky it is, has a roll to kill. I also do like 70% to Weezing. It's not gooey, which means I should outspeed this. Assuming it's the usual minus speed set. And as long as I have Crawdont in the back, I can almost always 1v1 things. I'm actually going to set up one layer of Toxic Spikes, because I know that this Weezing is Levitate, and now I can beat this 1v1 with Sludge Bomb and the FF. Yep. So because I got the Toxic Spike up, I can always 1v1 the Weezing because they have to go for Defog. Toxic Spike means that Armor Rouge can't come in, and on Bisharp I always just click Will-O-Wisp. So yeah, it was a pretty done deal there. All right, we're back. I want to lead Mr. Craw so bad. It's so fun just leading that every game, but I think Zapdos is probably my best play. Go Zapdos, click U-turn, Break Sash, go into... Oh, Here I just knock, I think. Knock pretty freely. If it's Scarf, it's Scarf. Nope, leftovers. I get T-Waved, that's fine. I'm gonna get another, hopefully, strong knockoff. Gets its rocks up. Jirachi dies. Good to not have to deal with that Mon. Rabombi comes out. And oh, they have Tentacruel to spin, actually. Oh, it's QD too. Wowie. Have to go Registeel here, because Heavy Slam does in fact beat this 1v1. Oh, actually, it can Terra Ground, right? If it Terra Ground, Terra Blasts me, how much does that do? A lot. It shouldn't no-come me, unless it's Modest, which, like, am I taking that chance? I shouldn't, but I will. Actually, no, I definitely shouldn't take that chance. Nah, fuck it. Yeah, there we go. We're good. I T-Wave this thing. I can deal with the Body Press damage. I can Wish Pass Sylveon. And I think at this point I just start I-Deffing. Because at +2 I only take 20% from their own Body Press. And even though I know they're Rocky Helmet, I can just sit on them as they are paired. Their best counter is definitely Volcanion, but if I Terra, I have a bit of a better matchup into it. Unless it's Specs, which could be interesting. Yep, okay. So they stay in. They start going for their own body presses. That's completely fair. I do, however, always outspeed this mon. Okay. Now I just go into Gengar, because I can't. Unfortunately, cannot deal with this mon. I have a fairly free Hex here. Knockoff does hurt. I can also tear a Ghost in Hex, which doesn't do too much to me, which doesn't like help me out too much, but yeah. This is AV probably? AV spin? Yeah, looks like it's about that. I will be Wisping this, because I don't want to take extra damage from knock. Plus if I Wisp this, I get it further and further into range from Hex. Yep, there's the knock. I Hex here always. Hex just has a chance to basically kill everything at this point. Except for this mon, of course. 30% last time. I don't ever think this is a roll to kill. Yeah. They get Toxic Spikes up, which is perfectly fine. I just Hex again. Gallade comes out. Yep. I was gonna say the only way this is scary is if it's Shadow Sneak, but I didn't see a world in which it was. I go Bike, I get a free Rapid Spin-off. If it's Terra Ghost Volcanion, I don't know what to say, but it wouldn't be the craziest set I've ever seen. Goes into Chestnut, that's completely fair. I can go into Zapdos pretty freely. Get some Regenerator back for later. I get a free Brave Bird off here, and they FF. Yep, makes sense. We'll run it back. And we're back with another one. And we're playing Jesse Boris 2712, the GOAT of the RU tier. Every time I play this guy, it's always like close games. I played him like I think 6 or 8 times in the span of trying to get Rex, and I think he beat me every time. I can't lie. I'm just gonna lead Mr. Craw. It is how it is. I'm gonna go into Gengar, predicting the Terra. Yep, Terra Water Body Press. Free Will-O-Wisp. Gutra comes in. I can go into Sylveon. Yep. No Drake. Gengar comes out. I'm going to Calm Mind again. Oh Jesus. That's a strong Sludge Wave. Yeah. I should have known this thing was Specs, right? So, whatever. It's fine. I'm down to trade with that, because now I can go back into Big Gang. Click big ol' Hex on Gutra coming in. I go back into Sylveon. I wish Flash Cannon doesn't kill me. I protect on this turn. Go back into Registeel. And then I go Mr. Craw. I should outspeed now that yep, he goes into Hippo. I knock Big Hippo off. And what's my play here? I think I go Gengar. Go back into Gengar for a Willow. Sets up Stealth Rocks. I get a Hex off. Sludge Bomb should kill. Yep. Gutra comes out. I go back into Sylveon. Wish. Protect to see what move it's going for. Sludge Wave, go into Registeel. Click T-Wave just in case. Nope, goes back into Talonflame. I go into Mr. Craw. Now I go back into Gengar. He stays in. Never mind, he goes into Hippo. Makes sense. Gengar comes in, dies. Gucci comes back in. I go Sylveon. Yep, predicts the Flash Cannon. That's fine. I will wish, because now I can freely go into Goodra and I'm gonna CC actually. Yep, that's fine. Going to Gengar. Back into Goodra. Go into Registeel. And I'm just gonna Iron Defense up to plus 3 million at this point. Actually, no, plus 2 is fine. Because I should be able to kill Goodra. Salamence comes in. Interesting. Interesting play. Gengar. Free Hex. I will Hex again. Now the question is do I kill Salamence? Because I know he's no, I mean I can do like half maybe. Pretty sure he's a Lumberry, right? I don't know. Gonna burn. Nope. All good. Sack Registeel here. I go into Zapdos. I can really click CC here, I think, because he hasn't. Oh, he has Terra actually. No, just Terra Flying Brave Bird. Yeah. GG's. Wow, that's the. I think that's the first dub I've taken off of Jesse Boris in a very long time. He's at 1462 right now, which is a lot lower than where he's usually at. Usually he's like 15 something, yeah, 1540-ish, but we'll run it back, get another game. And we're back with another game. This time we're playing pretty scary for Alligator actually. I can't tell what the best lead here is, but I think I'm gonna go Mr. Craw. Yep, Jirachi's here. Makes sense. It'll probably try to U-turn, now that I think about it. Knockoff is still pretty free. Because, like, realistically, if they go into Umbreon, I don't mind knocking off leftovers. And the U-turn damage doesn't really matter. Okay. Interesting. Terra Fairy Jirachi. Okay. I don't hate it. I'm gonna go Gengar. If he predicts the switch, I don't hate it. But interesting. Okay. I'm gonna go back into Crawdaunt. Because I'm expecting him to go for the T-Wave. Because I don't think he wants to have this Gengar running around for free. This is a interesting Jirachi set, but they did also Terra very early into the game, which means they also don't have a resist to Terra Flying Brave Bird, which I'm like 90% sure Oko's his entire team. Honestly, I can just sit here and spam knockoff now, because trading chip on Mr. Craw is fine at the end of the day. This is a little tragic because the 30% chance to para plus the 60% chance to flinch is annoying, but we do break through eventually. And we have one more chance to break through. And we don't get it, which is unfortunate. What's my play here actually? I guess Registeel, right? Registeel Heavy Slam, because no matter what, I don't mind getting T-Waved on this thing. Actually, even now, I'm just going to Zapdos because I can take the Iron Head. Yeah, U-turn out. That's a bit of a annoying Jirachi set. Wish I went for a Crab Hammer instead of Knockoff early into the game. But I also didn't want him to go into for Alligator or Volcanion instead of put free on me. Gengar is probably my best play here. If he goes into Gengar, it's a speed tie, which I don't mind going for, because at this point in the game, I don't really have anything that can sit on Gengar comfortably. Plus, if I get rid of his Gengar, I can get a free T-Spike off, which will cause him some troubles. I always go Cyclizar here, because if it's not Specs, it doesn't do enough damage to me to be a problem. I knock once just to see what the set is. If it's AV Body Press, I'm in a bad spot. Nope, it's AV Steam Eruption, which is perfectly fine. I can drop a pretty big Drake here without having to worry too hard. Yep, that's Chip on Volcanion for free. I can now U-turn into Sylveon. I Calm Mind once. See, I'm telling you, it's always these crazy Volcanion sets where, like, you think that you, like, beat them down 1v1 super easily, but then they just switch into, like, this, and you're just, like, sitting here like, what is happening? If I get up to +2, I can kill this. I also kill Mamosline in one, and as long as I stay above half HP, I am fairly good into the rest of his team. Yep. Hyper Voice Oko's here. The strongest move he has is like EQ or Ice Shard. Ooh, that's strong. That's probably Banded, if I was to guess. The good thing though is I can live a Sludge Wave from this range, assuming it's not Specs, which it presumably is. Unless you got super lucky with a roll, which, to be fair, also very possible. Actually, I think my best play is to go Zapdos and fire off at Brave Bird, because nothing wants to eat this. For Alligator doesn't want to take this, Umbreon doesn't want to take this, Volcanion doesn't want to take this. Volcanion dies immediately on switch in. And for Alligator also just takes too much chip. Even at +1 it doesn't outspeed, so and if it goes for Aqua Jet, if he goes hard into for Alligator, I can tear a Brave Bird pretty freely, because he can't set up and kill me on the same turn. So I think I'm in quite a decent spot to just win here. The only mon that I have to worry about is Umbreon, but I should be able to beat Umbreon down fairly easily. Again, if Volcanion comes out, I go back into Cyclizar, and I click, nope, Umbreon comes out. I can go Registeel here. Now, T-Wave. That is definitely one of the moves of all time. I'll go Bike, it's fine. Spike, U-turn back into Registeel. This is fine. I genuinely don't need, like... There we go. Yeah, we're good. Because now I drop the Draco. And U-turn. And at this point I can 1v1 Umbreon very, very comfortably. I go into Zapdos. I click U-turn here because I know it's leftovers. I want to see if its last move is Wish or not. Nope, he just goes for the foul play there, which is interesting. I'm gonna T-Wave. Nope, I get hurt in confusion again. I'll probably cut. Actually, I don't know if I will cut this out of the video because it seems pretty silly. Yeah, they FF anyway. So, you know, not bad. This is probably going to be a shorter video. We'll get one more, but I think that'll be the last one. Okay, we're back, and this time we're playing a Kleavor team. These are always such fun to play against in RU. The play here is always to lead Crawdon and Clear Cockwoodjet into Kleavor, because if it's not Sash, it automatically dies, and if it is Sash, it's 1 HP, meaning that next time it comes in, it dies, presumably. They have 2 Defoggers though. That's very interesting. They have a Defog Noivern and a Defog Talonflame, but it's probably going to be Defog Talonflame if I were to guess. It is Sash on Kleavor, and he goes for X-Scissor actually, which means I get a free U-turn out of here with Zapdos. I could also just fire off a pretty free Brave Bird, now that I think about it. The only thing that would want to come in to stop me from Brave Birding is... Wow, they would have given me Chestnut for free. That's interesting, but I get a free Willow up on this Chestnut. Oh, wait, that's even better. Because now I go Registeel, and I beat this thing 1v1, always. I don't even have to go to +2. I just one-shot this with... Yep, Basque Legion comes out. I click T-Wave in front of it. I will neuter his entire team, even if it's the last thing I do. Yep, now I go Psych. And click Knock. Basically I'm just trying to... I am attempting to kill off all of the Mons that he has that are switch-ins into Zapdos, because at that point I just click, 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 and win the game. Bisharp comes out. I'm pretty free to wish into Registeel here, actually. Because the most it does to me is, I think, 30, even at +2, so... Yep. Oof, low kick set. Okay, interesting. Not the biggest hater, to be honest. But we do know I live 1 from Basque Legion always on Cyclizar. Honestly, his best play might just be to go Noivern and Flamethrower, right? But even then, I'm gonna go Sylveon. We'll see if it's Specs or not, I guess. I will click Calm Mind once. It appears to be Specs. If he goes for Leech Seed this turn, he gives up his Chestnut. Yep. And Kleavor coming out also doesn't mean anything. I'm pretty happy to give damage on this thing for Kleavor being dead. Talonflame comes out, it's pretty free to just go Gengar here. Ooh, okay. That's a offensive Talonflame set, which is interesting. I don't see those often. How much does offensive Talonflame do into... Actually, it kills Sylveon from full, but it can't, actually, how much does a Flare Blitz do? That's a good thing to count, probably. Flare Blitz also kills from full. So I guess my basically only play here is to go into Zapdos and pray I win. Because, I mean, I have no way to beat that Talonflame 1v1. And they threw. Okay, very cool. I'm pretty sure I just stay in with Zapdos into the Noivern. Yeah, that was interesting. I think the... Wait, which one actually has more HP? If Noivern has more HP, it's always better to stay in Noivern. Because... yeah, because I'm pretty sure I died a I'm pretty sure I died a recoil there. And then Talonflame can come and clean house, presumably, right? But yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. Whenever the Oricorio ban comes around, I will probably be voting to ban it. I hope every single one of you has a great day. Leave a like, subscribe if you like this kind of content, and peace.